now live. Oh, we are now live. Yep. Let me just close that now that I confirmed. All right. Um, let's see. I have a script here. Okay. Uh, let's do this. Mm, I really don't like reading scripts, but I don't see how else to do this without a script. Okay. Hey everyone, if you are watching this one, then you're probably new to the game or you just want us to start a new character. Regardless of that, welcome to Horror Town Behind the Wheel. As you can see, this character has less than 3 hours of playtime. It's only driver level 18, but if you add up the job levels, it's actually already has more than 400. These are the ideal results you can get if you follow this guide. So, how? You're probably asking? Well, it's actually quite simple, so let's get into it. Let me open this recording that I have. So, obviously, I started a new character. You don't have to do exactly the same things, but we need all the jobs that we want to boost, the ones that you saw, the taxi, bus, truck, and wrecker has to be level 10 or lower. So, first things first, let me just speed this up. First up, the wrecker job. You can right away start doing wrecker because the dory wrecker does not require level 2 or higher. It's all level 1. And you start off with everything on level 1. Technically, you can start with the taxi as well and trucking. For taxi, you just have to buy the taxi license. It costs 10,000. You don't start with any money, but you can go to the bank and take a loan of 10,000. And trucking, well, that's the tutorial even. But we'll get to trucking later. I'll explain that why when we get there. Okay, here we are at the Jeju Harbor where you can pick up delivery vehicles. If you hop in, you can see where they need to go. I'm looking for the ones that need to be delivered to Gangjeong. There are two dealerships there and the police station. I also I was also checking whether I can abandon. There, I just checked it again. If you abandon it, then a few minutes later it will spawn a replacement one because I don't need those. I already checked where they're going and they don't go to Gangjang, so I want to despawn them. But because this is a completely new game, I can't despawn them yet. I have to wait. I don't know for how long, maybe 15 minutes. I'll be coming back for a second one. Also, when you open the map in single player, the game pauses. But because I'm in a friend only session, it's a multiplayer session, it doesn't pause. So I ended up damaging the minibus that I'm towing, the bongo. That's fine though. I actually want to have some damage on it to reduce the XP and money that we get. Oh, let me keep track of my notes. Should be clicking where I'm now. Yeah, I'm just waiting here. Let's see. Oh, I closed it right away, but you can still see it here. So this is where my calculator that I had opened earlier that comes in. There should be a link somewhere. I provide it first. This is file is locked for obvious reasons, so you can make a copy of it. So let's see. Vehicle deliveries to Gangjeong are around 3,500 meters, and the payment is plus 1,000 for every meter, and then a little bit more for weight and other factors, but it's very tiny. So I just simplified the calculator. So we got 4,508. So I'll just input here 3,508 meters. And then the safety bonus is 5179. That is because it had, oh, so I should show that. It had 5% damage. So the total is 5689. Yep, that's exactly what I got. You're not supposed to rent this because the rentals don't have a bus license. So yeah, here I just swapped over to the one at the bus station. So like I said earlier, I want to go back to do another vehicle delivery. And since it's on the other side of the map, I may as well start taking some bus passengers to also level up the bus job. Also, you can see here there's the two squares of comfort. That's because this minibus has 2 points on comfort. Each comfort point will give you plus 20% XP and money. Oh, I actually haven't explained that yet because we just opened this thing earlier. In this game, every level requires 1,000 experience, and for any job that gives XP and money, the ratio is 1 to 10 for every 10. So you need 10,000 to earn 10,000 from that job to get 1,000 XP. There are other ways to get money like contracts and town bonus, but those do not provide XP, which actually helps simplify calculations because we don't have to factor them in. However, like I said earlier, we also want to stay on our, with job level 10 or lower because at level 10 or below you have 5 times the XP. So the ratio is now 1 is to 2. For every 2 money, get 1 XP. That means for one level with 5x XP, we can earn 2000. And since we start with one level, we only need to level up 9 times. It's okay to exceed that as long as we don't get enough XP to reach level 11. So the goal is at least 9,000 XP or 18,000 from the job, and to stay below 10,000 XP or 20,000 money. And then here I actually have it. Yeah, the on time bonus is plus 30%. Right now, we're still there. Buses have schedules. So if you arrive too early, you won't have the on time bonus. Let's actually unpause this so we can see that. Once again, I'm trying to abandon, but it's too early. I can't do it yet. I think it's 15 minutes, but I haven't confirmed that. I'm just guessing. It's quite some time. Oh, I lost comfort there. So in that case, oh, I actually have it 0 here, but we'll check that later. So yeah, we're still too early, so I'm slowing down. Do not stop in the drop-off area in this zone. If you stop, then it already counts, even if you don't open the door. It already counts as too early. So now we're on time. And here we go. We got 5712 for the fare because we had 4 passengers. We did have the on-time bonus and 1 comfort point. There we go. It's all matching up. Actually, this gave me 1 extra coin for some reason, but that's fine. So we can see here, if we take another 4 passengers, we're gonna exceed the 20k limit. So we can instead take it down to 1 comfort. Oh wait, that's because I have this. I need to clear this. So if we do 5, we're still quite a ways. We can min-max this. Yeah, there's like that. So 5 passengers needed. Uh, I'm not supposed to leave the bus here, but because there's a dory wrecker there, and that's the next thing I'm going for, I just left it there. What I'm supposed to do is drive the bus to the vehicle delivery job and then spawn a dory there while I'm inside the bus so that the bus gets despawned. Because once the bus is despawned, then another one will spawn at the bus station in Gangjiang. I got lucky here, even though I couldn't abandon the other vehicles, I got a new one for Gangjiang. So once again, this is where the calculator comes in. So this is goes to Gangjiang. It's 3,500 meters, as we already know. But to make sure we don't exceed the limit from other bonuses, like this servos is quite heavy. I just rounded it up to 3,550, and then if we go, if there is no damage, we will exceed 20k. If it's 7%, we're still good. 6%. 5% is still good, and even 4%. Actually, if you just take this off and copy this over, then you'll see how much damage is needed there. So I need to damage this. That's why I'm not driving carefully. It already has 3% damage, but I don't think I knew yet at the time that I need 3.33 damage. So I kept damaging it still. I didn't have this exact calculator yet when I did this. Oh, we skipped over it again. So we can see, yeah, we actually got more. 4582. So you should actually add 100 meters instead to make sure you don't exceed the limit. It's still 4% though. So whatever calculation I did, it was very generous. So actually you might even want to go plus 200 to make sure to really make sure you don't exceed the limit. Because if you exceed it, then you can't do the level up trick anymore. If you lose the 5 times multiplier. So once again, we're back here at Gyeongjeong. Because I didn't despawn the bus, it's not there anymore. The other bus there is the rental. It doesn't have the bus license, like I said. So I can't use that. But there's a spawner there that I could use. And here we have, inside the bus, there are 6 out of 8 people, but that counts the driver. And as we already know, we need 5 passengers, so that's perfect. We do have 5 passengers, and we need to lose 1 comfort point so that we don't exceed the limit. If we have both comfort points, we'll go over 20k. Right here, I'm actually doing the calculation. The game mutes itself when you're on a different tab. That's why the sound keeps cutting off. Yep. You really do not want to get too much XP and get level 11 or higher. Because that 5 times multiplier is very helpful. Oh wait, I didn't even get comfort bonus. None of my passengers care about comfort. So we can actually remove that. Although we can't really go for 6 passengers. Whoa, 6 passengers is fine, actually. I think I do take an extra one, if I remember this correctly. No, I didn't get any. Okay. So now that's done with, it's time to do for taxi next. There's also calculations for taxi here. Taxi, thankfully, you can see in the menu. Where's the taxi menu? Here, you can see what your passengers want and how much they're paying, so it's easy to calculate. Ideally, at the start, since you need 20k, that's quite plenty. Ideally, you want a passenger that wants urgent, because no matter what vehicle you're using, you're gonna have 5 urgent bonuses, and the urgent is plus 30% per point. Although you're probably not gonna get all 5 unless it's a very easy route or you just happen to drive really quickly. And then this Tuscan has 2 comfort. Oh yes, comfort is plus 20% bonus. So we can get only plus 40% from this. Whereas if we had an urgent passenger, 4 points of urgent is pretty easy. So 4 times 30% is 120%. That's 3 times the bonus. So it's really nice if you can get urgent passengers. Is this urgent? It is nice. I haven't put it in. How much was it? 3431. And then we got 2 comfort. I don't know why this is black. That's fine. Oh yeah, and like I said earlier, the taxi license is 10,000. That's why I started with bus and wrecker first. And because you need to give time for the bus passengers to spawn. Okay, so let's see here. 3921. We did get 4 points of urgent and 2 comfort. So yeah, 10,000. This actually gave us. Oh, that's because there's a town effect bonus. I didn't see how much we got from the previous one. 3347. Just take this off. So we still need 1,200. What's that? Oh, there's one more here. Still need 5,000. So this is 3759. He only wants comfort, but that makes us go over the limit. So we can reduce the comfort by 1. That keeps us in level 10. So that's perfect. Let me actually speed this up some more. We still have audio, so that's good. What other notes is there? Nothing for now. Always brake very early when in comfort mode because the braking force is only half. That's why the braking distance is so long. I almost forgot that I need to take off one of the comfort points. I almost stopped at dropped them off with 2, but then I remembered and did a quick spin to drop it off. So now we have 41,000. We're also at driver level 6. That means we can now buy the servos. That will be now that we're at the limit of taxi. We're at level 10 and taxi. That's the vehicle we need. To go the next step. So I just took off the light taxi license from the Tuscan so that I can put it onto the servos. Yeah, there's no more taxi license. Oh, let me speed this up. So the servos is at Hatchon Orange Farm. 30,000. Then I remembered for in order to maximize the levels we get on taxi with the 5 times XP bonus, we want to find the passenger with the highest paying passengers, and that means longest distance. So I'm going northward on the north side of the map. There's a garage here that I can use to put the license on, and the gas station. Although I in this one I forget to refuel. It's a really long trip, so you'll want to have a full tank before you pick up the passenger. There's the license, and then to get even more than what they're paying, we want to find a passenger that wants both comfort and urgent. And that's also the reason why we got the servos, because the servos has 5 points of comfort. So there's none at the moment. What you can do is simply go to the main menu. Oh, that's the recording. Let's go to the next one. Speed this up. So when you go to the main menu and then back to your game, the taxi passengers are reset. So you get new ones. This one I had a comfort and urgent, but it only wants 20k. This one is 23k. That's already close to the highest one I've ever seen. I think the highest one I've seen is 24k. So this is already very good. It's not around Gujwa though. Ideally, you're at Gujwa. That gives you the most straight line trip down to Sanho or Dasa, so that it's much easier to maintain the urgent bonus. You can see here, the comfort is now 5 points because it's the servo. So now you just have to be very careful not to lose any of your comfort point because this is a very long trip. You can also see this is 15.5 kilometers away, and it only gives us 13 minutes for all urgent points. That's just because of the way the game calculates the timer right now. It's a straight line from where you pick up the passenger to the destination, instead of counting the road distance. As you can see here, we're not gonna be driving towards our drop-off point. We're actually gonna be parallel here on the highway, so we're not making any progress towards it on this road. Yes, basically directly on our side. That's why it's really hard to get the full urgent bonus. But you take what you can. So you drive as fast as you can, but also not too fast that you lose the comfort points. And with this stock servos, it's actually quite easy to lose a comfort point if you're not careful. The suspension on it is really soft, and soft suspensions actually means that the comfort meter here at the bottom is much more erratic whenever you hit a bump or make some turns and whatnot. So for taxi job, you actually want as stiff as a suspension as is ideal. Obviously, if you went for too stiff, then it's not gonna handle very well. So you can't just go max out the stiffness. That's also very dangerous on that bumpy section. Thankfully, I did not lose a comfort point there. So that's it basically for taxi. We just went as much XP as we can without going taxi level 11, and grabbed a really high paying passenger that wants comfort and urgent. If I speed this up, I think we're gonna lose the audio. Yeah, let's just keep it at 4x then. So I'm just taking some shortcuts here and there instead of following the road. Because I did not refuel at Jeju, I'm already very low on fuel. You can also go right here already. I just remembered it at this moment, so I didn't turn or as early as you can. But let me actually go back and show that. When you pass the gas station here, there's a right turn and then another left turn. There are some rocks here, so you want to take a slight left and then go right. Immediately go right. Just follow the same direction as the road was pointing before the left turn. But don't just go straight through it or you might end up driving into a rock. So yeah, we're already gonna lose the urgent point. That's basically impossible. Because we're taking a very windy road to Sanho. There's no other way to get to Sanho quickly. This is the best we got. Hopefully in the future, they'll update the timer to consider the road distance instead of the straight line. This is only 2 kilometers left and I still have 2 minutes, so I think I'll make it. Yeah, 1 kilometer left, I'll definitely make it. And I ran out of fuel. And you can't use the tow services to refuel when you're a suspect, but thankfully I lost it right away. And there it is. If we input that, we can confirm the calculations are correct. We got 4 urgent and 5 comfort. Yep, exactly that. 74614. And now that we're here, all the way down south of the map, next step is to go to Dasa Harbor for the wrecker. Also, I already lost the suspect status earlier. I should have refueled then using the tow service, but I didn't. So now I'm out of fuel again. Just waiting for it to disappear so I can refuel. I don't need that much fuel, so I just took a little bit. So here you can spawn a dory wrecker. I'm checking the distance. This one is 12.7 kilometers. This is also 12.7. That ambulance was 15.2. This is 15.9. I did not see that, but I think it was less than 15.9. Yeah, I'm taking this one. Because obviously, the further it is, the more we get paid and the more XP we'll get. I almost got hit by that bus. You really need to be careful. Just like with the comfort on taxi, you really don't want to damage this. Because you're gonna lose a lot of XP, especially because the percent bonus relative to damage is not linear. Every damage from zero, the first few percentage of damage is actually a huge penalty, and then it gets less and less until you're completely out of bonus. Also, I did not adjust the tow bar properly. That's why it was really unstable. Now I lifted it. Yeah, now it's stable. Thankfully, I did not damage it. Also, there was a police car. I passed him, but he didn't care this time because the tow trucks have a siren. It's a silent one for this one though, and there are no lights. But it still works, so the police doesn't care that I'm speeding and driving on the wrong side of the road. I'm actually a little lucky here. The Stagon, as you saw, it's actually decently tall, so there's not much risk of taking damage over these bumpy sections of the road. Also, it's on the heavy side, which you'd think is bad because that makes this harder, but heavier vehicles pay more. Also, speaking of the height, I thought I could take this off-roading without causing damage because it was pretty. Also, those are the rocks I was talking about earlier, which it did. This Stagon actually handled the off-roading pretty well. It only took 1% damage, but like I said, you really don't want the damage. I think that's already 5% less. We can actually check that using our calculator here. 1% damage. Wait, I guess I can put 100. How do I make this? Yeah, if there's no damage, the bonus is 150%, but at 1% you do 7. So that's pretty significant on the first few percentages. Also, I took another shortcut there. Just saves time. If I was towing something smaller that's very likely to take damage off road, I wouldn't have taken that shortcut. But because it was the Stagon, I just went for it to save some time. Be very careful on roads like this where it's downhill and there's a corner. Because now that we're towing a vehicle behind us, we have more weight on our back wheel. And the Doris brakes is very front biased because it's a front heavy vehicle, which means our braking is really ineffective while towing. And then on these sections here, there's the bumpy stuff again. We bounced on it on the servos earlier. Thankfully, we didn't lose a comfort point, but when you're towing, you have to take those carefully. Although it doesn't really look like I'm slowing down very much because it's sped up, but you can see the speed. I'm going around 50 kph at most. Yeah. Every time I go over those bumpy sections, I slow down to 50. There we go. I went under 50 that time because that one was more bumpy than the others. Oh yeah, my notes. And what else do I have to point out? Oh yeah, I haven't explained it on the calculator. You can see here there's 3 that says vehicle deliveries. We, as you saw earlier, we can do it. Wait, why is this minus one? Oh, because I changed that. Yeah. As you saw earlier, we just need to make two deliveries from Jeju Harbor to Gangjeong. But if you don't want to do that, you can also just do the tow jobs that you find around the map. The tow jobs actually add more money in the XP per distance. It's 2,000 more as compared to the vehicle delivery, which is only 1,000. That's the only difference, really. So if you happen to be level 9 or around exactly level 9, then you can level up once more, which needs 2,000. If you find a tow job right next to a garage, then that's gonna pay you 2,000 and will get you an extra level. You can see the front brakes is smoking because it really wants to stop the vehicle, but the weight is on her back, not the front. And there we have it. We're already Taxi 48 and Wrecker 31. At this point, we've done two very long trips, so you might want to back up your save just in case you make a mistake. That's why I'm taking a pause and going to the main menu. So next step, I'm going to buy drone. You might want to buy two or three drones. They fit in one slot. You can have up to three drones in one slot, but I only took one. You might want the extra in case you lose one of your drones. Although don't overspend your money because the bus there was 100,000 or something. Let's see. Yeah, it's 100,000. So make sure you have enough to buy that. Although the Lilliput will do fine as well. It's just that if you have the bigger bus, then you'll get even more levels and XP and money rather, because you can fit more passengers. But the thing is, the trick with bus is the Guangjin to Gapa trip, and there's not really all that many passengers at Guangjin. So there's another trick that you need to do in order to fill up the bigger bus if you took that one. Realistically, you can really only fill up, I think, 25 seats on the bus, but that takes a long time unless you do the trick that I'm gonna do. That saves me a lot of time and allows me to fill up the bus completely. So, as you can see, I didn't actually place a waypoint into Guangjin because I'm gonna set up for trucking later. I'm going for the mines, not the town, Guangjin mine. And then I went down here because from here I can take the drone and just fly up there. Oh, after buying the drone, I opened the company as well. So now we have access to contracts. So I bought the fast travel contract. I also bought the middle drone in the shop. That's the fastest one. So it's able to go 32. You can make it go even faster by changing to the sport mode, but that's gonna make your character slide off of it because it flies at a much steeper angle if you put it in sport mode. Here I made a route. Uh, did I? Yeah, I made a Gapa terminal with Guangjin Village. And then what I'm doing right now is swapping the two together so I can pick up the extra passenger that spawned. Because here, when I first arrived, there was one, two, three, four, five passengers. Yep, they all hopped in. You can just keep waiting here, and more passengers will keep spawning until you get 25. I think is the limit. There, another one spawned, but it's not hopping in the bus. That's why you have to shuffle the terminals with the bus stop to pick up the extra passengers. And then here's the other trick is to just to very quickly get more passengers. Or you just go where there are passengers, i.e. other servers. So I'm going to TWL, I think is what I selected. Yeah, there's a lot of passengers here in TWL. That's still not enough though. I still need I still have 6 seats in the bus. I went to a different server. Picked up even more passengers. Also be very careful not to lose your comfort point because that's gonna reduce your money and XP by a lot if you lose it. It's also plus 20% just like the taxi comfort one. And the on time bonus is also plus 30%, similar to the urgent bonus of taxi. But with taxi you can get multiple depending on how fast you are. Whereas with bus it's only whether you're on time or not. Another reason I chose this bus over the Lilliput is because in stock form it's already pretty tall and well we're off-roading here at the Guangjin Trail. So that's pretty nice compared to the Lilliput. Although with the Lilliput it's cheaper so you could have upgraded it. Make it taller and whatnot. Like I said before though, you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing here. Especially for bus. This job gives us so much money and XP even if you're using only the Lilliput. That you'll be able to have enough bus levels to use the biggest bus afterward. Although you still need driver levels to use the biggest bus. It has higher drive level requirements. But at least you can just focus on driver level if you want the big bus. Oh, that wasn't so quickly. I took the Namdang mud shortcut instead of following the GPS straight here. I went through this mud shortcut. This bus. This is also the reason why I went with this bus instead of the Lilliput. It's just better at handling this section. And then here, I think it can make it through there. I don't know if it can in stock form, but can just go the side road like I just did there. And then here as well. Just make sure you don't lose your comfort point while doing that because it's very rough terrain. Yeah, that shortcut saves so much time. We're already basically at the terminal here, but we still have 3 minutes left. So what I'm actually gonna do is do some small jobs using the spawner. Because I'm only level 9, I can still earn a bunch of XP without going bus level 11. Just don't overdo it, obviously. Once again, if you end up at level 11, then you lose the 5 times multiplier. So I didn't pick up all the passengers there. I think I picked up only 2 just to see how much XP I'm getting. I think I can pick up one more. It didn't give me that much XP because it was a very short trip. But I didn't want to risk it. Because like I said, with this bus you're gonna get so much money and XP. Yep, there we go. 219 bus level. And then next step, only trucking left. So for trucking, the easiest way is to grab some garbage bags. However, I'm still in a multiplayer session. And in multiplayer, the garbage bags don't sync up very well unless you're using the compactor truck. The garbage bags don't register as loaded on your truck if it's not the compactor. So if you're in multiplayer, there's a pretty high chance the bags are gonna fall off or at least mess with the physics of your truck. So I went back to single player. That's also another reason why I didn't do trucking at the start, even though you can already use this dory at the very start. Because I want 9 garbage bags. But when you create a new character, there's no garbage bags around the map. They don't start spawning until 30 minutes in. And they spawn very slowly. So you want to wait until your character or your world is 1 hour or longer to have just a decent amount of garbage bags that you can actually find 9 of them. Also, I originally planned to go straight to the truck dealership to do the next step now that I'm truck level 10. But I decided there's still less than 1000 XP I can earn. So I'm taking a small job to see. Yeah, I can do one more of this. Just maximizing the 5 times XP multiplier. Although for trucking it's not really necessary. Trucking XP is very easy. But yeah, I was curious. So I decided to try it when I was recording this. Whatever extra XP I got here, you could have easily made it in a different doing something else after the trick. And then this is what the truck dealership was for. So I can buy the dumpy and then fast travel to the mine that we got the contract earlier for. Also, that was very quick again. You can see in my single player world, because this is a new character, there's only 25 coal that's been produced out of the 200. So I went to multiplayer where there's already 200 coal. And that means 200% priority bonus. So this pays more than if I grab the one in my single player. I also went to check. Looks like, yeah, this is full as well. So I exited. I made a backup. We'll get back to that later. Why I did that, but in the meantime, let's continue this coal run. Stock dumpy, by the way. I just bought this and went straight to the mines with our fast travel contract. I didn't upgrade anything. Coal is very light, so this is quite easy. Although the open diff might give you some issues, so you might want to consider at least buying a diff instead of having it just open. Any of the diff options will work. Like I said, coal is very light, so it's easy. It's just that having an open diff could really end up making it much harder than it needs to be if you're not driving very well. Also, I'm not following the GPS once again. I made a left turn instead of a right turn there. For deliveries from the mines to Dasa Harbor, it's not really gonna save you much time if you take this route instead of the one at the GPS. As long as you take a shortcut once you're out of Guangjin, both routes will be quite fast. It's just that this route is even faster than the other route. Assuming you are taking a shortcut once you're out of the mines or of Guangjin. So not just following the road. I may actually go that once if I ever open the map. I think I'll open the map at some point. And yeah, because this is a stock dump, it keeps flipping over. And now that we're out here, we're taking a shortcut through the mountains. Well, you even call this mountains today. This is sand. Desert hills, I guess. You don't want to go straight to the waypoint because the terrain there, if you go straight, is very rough. I climbed up the side instead, and then now we're going down really fast. And then once again, I'm sticking to the side of the hills, just so I don't end up going too fast and overheating the engine. Oh, I opened the map there. Wait, where is it? Oh, oh, I didn't go back far enough. Yeah, if you, well, you can't really see here, but if you came out of the Guangjin mines here, you can go, instead of following the road, you can go up here. You can even see there's a gap there, or even here. Both ways, I think, are very doable. And then go to Gapa out here, then follow the road again, and then continue to where my waypoint is, right around here. So to the right of this hill is where you want to go. So just go straight there, basically. And once you're here, you can tow the road and be teleported really close to Dasa, allowing you to skip the soft sand. This sand is very hard to drive through. It's gonna slow you down a lot and possibly get you stuck. And there it is. 89,000 experience, so it's now truck level 100. You may notice that is lower than what I have on the thumbnail. That's because I actually went back to the earlier save that I backed up earlier. Oh, it's not sped up. Let's speed this up. You're here at the mines. Instead of taking the coal that I have, teleported back to Guangjin, and it's so fast. I'm taking this 46162. That's my setup. All of these are mine actually. I just uploaded them so they're in the first front page when I recorded this. So all this is to change the transmission to a 13 speed so that we have a lower gear, as well as increasing the ratio to 5.29 so that our low gear is even lower, because we're only truck level 10. We can't buy any of the upgraded engines yet. And then a long intake, that's very cheap. What else? That's it. Those are the only changes. I'm not buying the decals on this. So the 13 speed is quite expensive. Yeah, it's 15K. This is only 500. This is only 300. Oh, the diff is also necessary for this one. So that's 4K because you need two for each axle in the back. I didn't go for the paint or the decal. So instead of taking coal, I'm going for iron, which is why the upgrades are necessary if you want even more levels. So you can see this one pays 25K per unit. It also has really high priority bonus. Almost maxed out 196%. Oh, I didn't make it in the first try. Have to back it up. Try again. Yeah, there we go. Basically the same thing as I just did with the coal, except we have a heavier load, so this is gonna take longer. Much heavier loads actually. Oh yeah, I didn't point that out. This is actually a very heavy load. The maximum iron weight is 3,200 and you can carry 10. So that means the maximum is 32 tons. Coal is only 600 kilograms each. So it's a maximum of 6 tons. This is more than 5 times the weight. So this is much heavier. That's why the upgrades are necessary. And we just had a preview. Yeah, it's so heavy in the back that when it's going uphill, it wants to wheelie. But you can take this side route, which is less steep, and then it'll go up as long as you have the differential and the low enough gear. And that's it. We are done. Taxi, wrecker, bus, and this is the final one, the truck. That's actually here. Yeah, we're done with wrecker, bus, and taxi. So we're doing the truck right now. There's here 9 garbage bags to get to level 10. Raider and police do not have the 5x XP multiplier, and there's not really anything high paying or high XP for either one that you can do to boost it, even if it did have the 5 XP multiplier. Oh, and you may notice here I placed gray boxes here as well. It works similarly to these, where those are the only ones you should be editing. I added those just in case you can't find any urgent passenger, and all passengers you get pay so little that you end up filling this. So you can do is just transfer them up here and remove them. This will count that as well. In one of my test runs, that's actually what happened. I couldn't get any urgent passenger, and all the ones that I was getting doesn't pay very much. So I had to take so many passengers that I ended up filling up all of these, and I still needed one or two more passengers afterwards. Like I showed earlier, though, you can just go to the main menu to reset the passengers. If, so if there's no urgent passenger, at least at the start, if you're still level 5 or lower in taxi, then you want an urgent passenger. But if you're already 6, 7, 8, you don't really need all that much more. Then there's no point in resetting the passengers, just take whichever will get you more. Oh, we already made it past the. It made it through so easily, I think. The hard sections. Yeah, this is a pretty difficult section. Oh, it just barely made it. You have to take this quite quickly. I'm in 6L, and I still barely made it. The 6L gear was already topped out. It couldn't go any faster. And it still barely made it. That's a very difficult section. The rest of the trip though is easy. Other than the mud pit and the steep hill afterwards that I explained earlier. Those two plus the that mud section I just passed are the only difficult section. With iron anyway, with coal, it's all very easy. Speaking of setups, oh, I'll show that afterwards, I guess. So this is easy now because of the upgrades. I went into neutral here because the top gear, because of the 5.29 FDR, even the HH, the highest gear, is not able to go that fast. So it was better to just let it go even faster downhill than holding the gear, because then it will be engine braking. Also, I just checked there. This goes for the coil. That's the one on the right here. This one is the drop off for the beams. I checked that because you can take a contract for 20. We only have 10, but the 20 contract only costs 5,500, and it will give us 25,000. So just a little extra. For coal to DASA, there's no contracts. The one I showed earlier, you can take contracts at DASA. And that's it. We're back to our character. That's why it's 136. And like I showed earlier, the dumpy setup. In order to handle iron, I actually post my setup. Oh, what? I actually have my own Discord server. Link is in my profile or in the description of the video at the very bottom. You can join my Discord. I post all my setups here. So these are the ones that you saw earlier. 46162, the cheap low level iron build that only costs 19,800, and it can handle 32 tons of iron. I also have my reverse iron setup. Well, it's not set up for reverse, but Dumpy, when you fully upgrade it, it's just so strong that it can handle the reverse one. Anyway, that's it for this guide. Yeah, I think we've checked everything. We already saw how I did all of this in less than 3 hours of gameplay. I would talk about the changes that are coming in the closed test. We are allowed to talk about those. However, the thing with the closed test is the reason why it's closed is there's a lot of changes that's still happening. So even though I can tell you some things, it's probably not even gonna be relevant. So I'll just show you this. This character, I did basically the same thing as this, but in the 7.13 closed version. You may notice I got slightly more bus XP. I don't understand why that's happened. I didn't do Wrecker yet, but you may see it's taxi level 70. That's because the passengers going in or out of Guangjin town has been buffed. They pay more now in the closed test version. However, it's really hard to get those passengers. You might have to go back to the main menu and reset the taxi passengers multiple times until you get one that wants to go in or out of Guangjin. That's one requirement. Two, they pay a lot, so they want to go somewhere really far away from or really far away from Guangjin, or they want to be picked up really far away from Guangjin and go to Guangjin. That's the second requirement, and the third is the comfort and urgent. It's really hard to find those passengers in 7.13 because the Ara town has been added. So there's a lot more variety in passengers. So the rare passenger that allows you to get up to 70 or higher, well, it's very rare. So even though you can get more, and the highest taxi requirement is 20 anyway, it's very low. The limo is the highest taxi requirement. Same thing with the bus. You don't really need this much XP. That's why I mentioned you can just use the Lilliput and don't need to server hop for extra passengers. Because the highest bus requirement is the Cheetah. That's only bus 30. And then what else did we change? I couldn't get as much truck levels because, like I showed you earlier, I only got 100 truck level doing the coal to Dasa, but I got up to 136 doing iron to steel mill. But in the 7.13 version, there's a road connecting the east, the east coast road is already connected to the steel mill in 7.13, and that means that the payment for iron deliveries is much lower than before. So coal to Dasa is actually the better one to do in 7.13, and it pays less still because of that road also pays less, but it's better than iron in the next version. And the only reason I still made it over truck 100 is because I actually used my other character, created a corporation, and put my Atlas dump on that corporation and lowered the requirements so that this character can use that to take 17 units of coal. And yeah, that's it. I haven't bothered with Wrecker because there's a mention of a while ago that recoveries will be buffed. so that it's actually worth doing. Because right now it's hard to avoid damaging recoveries, and they don't really pay much more than tow and vehicle deliveries. That's why in this guide I showed you I just did a delivery because it's easy and it's almost guaranteed to not damage it as long as you drive carefully. But yeah, that's I'm waiting for that to see how much I can push this. Anyway, that's it. I don't have any more notes. Yep, I that's all of it. Oh yeah, the link to this calculator. Uh, I'll put it in the description of the video or the live stream rather. Well, I think it's better if I still cut this and convert to a video. The live streams don't really get much views. Anyway, yeah, like I said, I just wanted to get this out ASAP because there's already testing for the next version, which is gonna affect what's possible and what's not possible. So that's it. What else do I have planned? Oh yeah, because of this guide, I ended up doing I stuck Dumpy Coal Run and a low level cheap Dumpy that can handle 32 tons of iron. So I think I'll be yeah, that's the next one I'll be making a guide for. So yeah, see you on the next one then. I'm out.